Oh yeah, it's double organic.
Okay, so here's the Wexford. It is a steel-hulled freighter. Was originally built in Great Britain in 1883, and it sunk in the Great Storm of 1913, November 9th, in Lake Huron. That is a artist picture of it. Do you want to see my picture? I drew one. There it is. We are descending. If you haven't figured out, we are the blinking red circle. There's the two anchors at the front. This is the bow of the ship. And you can see that we will come up over the bow shortly. But some more stats. This freighter is 250 feet long, has a 40-foot beam, and the draft is 17 feet. You can see the winch there in the bottom right corner. You'll see it later in better detail. And how the bow has kind of collapsed away. There are 3 levels to the ship. Basically the deck, which is our magenta color. The middle level is the cyan color. And of course we are on the green path right now, and we're gonna descend. So you can see the 2 different levels there. We're going to the bottom, but there is the middle as well as the deck on top. But we are descending into the hull of the ship, into the storage bays and all that. Going straight to penetration. You can see the collapsed bow back there. There's a glimpse of it. And I'm fast forwarding through this because there's not a whole heck of a lot to see in here. It's just a big storage bay. When the ship sunk, it was holding like 96 tons of wheat. And what is that? We have our 2 big boilers. These things are giant. We'll spend some time here, get some nice close-ups. They're probably the most interesting part of the ship to be looking at. They're about as big as a Volkswagen. That's often the description. So quite large. So we'll spend a few minutes here perusing the boilers. On the ship, at the time of sinking, records say there was maybe 17 to 24 people, and however many there were, all hands were lost that day. As the ship was built in Great Britain, it was an ocean liner, but it was converted into a lake freighter. And once again, it did sink in the storm of 1913. And many ships sunk on that day, on November 9th. And it was called the White Gale because, of course, there was gale force winds. It was a very powerful storm, and it was also very snowy as well. And certain cities got up to 6 feet of snow that day. It was discovered in 2000 on August 25th by a fisher with a fish finder, and he just noticed an odd sort of blip on the fish finder, and he made a bunch of passes over it and then told some divers about it, and this is what they found. So that was about 14 years ago, and unfortunately the wreck was plundered, to say the least. Lots of the artifacts and whatnot has been stolen from the wreck. There's lots of cool stuff to still look at here. You can see all the piping for the boilers here. And I'm able to squeeze through. I forgot to mention the ship is at 75 feet, but with penetration we can get to about 80 feet. So it has sunken into the silt a bit. And here we are leaving the boilers, and I've found my dive buddies. They have dusted everything up. Awesome. And we are now at the height of the middle floor. The cyan and the green lines are at the same depth, even though it looks like there might be multiple levels. That's just not the case. That's just my poor diagram drawing. And we've kind of swam a little bit further, and now we're at the bow, or sorry, the stern, but the upper deck level, and it's kind of collapsed and broken up a little bit here. Just swim over to the edge, and you can see the rudder, but it's not too much to look at. It's mostly covered in the silt, so I didn't really spend too much time down there. Now we're heading back. You can still see the railings on the sides in some places. While we're heading back, I'll get on my soapbox here. While it's awesome that this wreck was found by a fisherman, as scuba divers and human beings in general, we should really be taking care of the lakes and oceans and marine life that occupy those spaces. And divers especially, because if you want to see some little fishies, if you want to see Nemo when you go diving, or if you want to see a shark or a whale, or have some sort of amazing encounter like that, well, you should know that with overfishing, all of these marine life are being overfished to the brink of extinction. Many species are already extinct, and 3/4 of the world's fish stocks are harvested faster than they can reproduce. I think this is the wheelhouse we're looking at here, or remnants of it, and we're just heading back towards the bow, and then we'll take a tour of the middle floor. But anyway, the way that most of the fishing is done is deep water trawling, and that pretty much bulldozes the sea floor, tearing coral and all these other little populations up, and it's indiscriminate, catches everything and kills everything. And the bycatch can be anywhere from 8 to 25%. And all those fish that are caught that are not needed, they're basically killed for no reason. And there's the winch again. And then we're gonna find a little hole and try and fit through it. The Great Lakes alone are experiencing overfishing, and as you can see, there's not a whole heck of a lot of fish on this wreck. You only see one or two little ones here and there. Although the big fish can hear you before you can get near, but definitely don't see too many fish in the lake. So what do we do about this? What do we do about the overfishing? Sign petitions? Only buy fish that are given some sort of label that it's safe to eat, it's sustainable? No. Oh, back at the boilers, swimming around them. Obviously, best thing to be doing is to stop eating fish. Even the fish populations that we have stopped fishing, they're not recovering. They're not going to recover. Their food chain or food triangle has been so messed up. All the different trophic levels of the different levels of eaters and producers is all messed up, that eventually the top of the food triangle or pyramid, or however you want to look at it, there's no more apex predators, and the babies of the apex predator are now getting eaten by the huge amounts of all the prey that they'd normally be eating. And so the apex predators cannot recover. Basically messed up nature. And so gotta stop eating fish, gotta stop supporting those industries that are killing our planet. Then when you realize that you need to stop eating fish, you realize you need to stop eating all animals. But anyway, I'll get off my soapbox and hope that next time I go diving I see a fish or two. And we're pretty much done with our tour. We're back to the bow, and now of course it is time to head on back to the surface, because we can only stay down here for a short period of time. It's an awesome wreck, and we can take videos and pictures, but leave just bubbles. Gotta be kind to our shipwrecks. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Oh yeah, it's DoubleOrganic. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Got epic recipes, fitness and raw food motivation. And connect with me on Facebook and Instagram. Peace. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to check out the free raw vegan recipes at doubleorganic.ca.